So now I am going to show how you represent the data in a file. I have already mentioned how you lay the data out. So here is an example. I have given you some data, 1.0, 1.5, the same data that I showed. There is one major difference between what I showed in the last screen and what I am showing now. Namely, I have put lots of commas. This is called the comma separated value format. So I will just write that down for you. Comma separated values, abbreviated to CSV. The CSV format is very useful for data interchange between different softwares. It is very easy to type and it is very easy to get CSV formatted data from other sources. Like if you have an Excel file, you can export it as a CSV file. So this is a CSV file. As the name suggests, the name is spring.csv. So it is a CSV file where I have written one case per line. So this is one case, 1.0, 5.29, 1.5, 6.31, etc. There are as many cases, that is as many lines, as I have trials of my experiment. So I took this many observations. Also notice that in the very first row I have written the names of the variables and I have used more descriptive names than merely W and L. I have called them weight and length. So this is how you should prepare the file. There is no comma at the end of the lines. There are commas only to separate the different numbers in the same line. It is not at all important that you write them one on top of another. You might as well make it what is called a free format thing. So you can put spaces. That is not a problem. What you must not do is something like this. Then it will be confused. It will think that there is nothing here and 5.29 is standing on its own. It will give you error message. So we just need to have equal number of numbers per line. Okay. So now I have started R here. So I need to read the data. Now when you read the data, you must understand that R always has a concept of working directory. Whenever you try to read anything from your hard drive, R will look for it by default in a certain directory or folder, which you can get by the command getwd, get working directory, which in this case happens to be this long thing. When you start R, the default working directory will be possibly something which is your home directory or something like that. So you need to tell R to get to that correct working directory. Depending on how conversant you are with the computer system that you are using, it might be easy for you, it might be very difficult for you. You just have to figure that out on your own. So you can use the command set working directory and then write down within quotation whatever working directory you want it to be. It could be like C, then slash, users and your name. It could be something else. So you just have to figure out. Make sure that your file, that spring.csv, is also in the same folder. The most common problem that I hear from students is that my R cannot find my data set. I have my data set here, R cannot load it. Mainly the reason is you have kept it in one folder and R is looking for it in a different folder. Or conversely, what you can do is that, not conversely, alternatively what you can do is that when you try to load the file, specify the entire path. So I will start loading it. Give it a name, I will call it dat, for want of a better name. Read.csv, that is the way you read a CSV file. In my case, it is already in my working directory, so I will just give the name spring.csv. And incidentally, if you have problem with this, then please tell me during the class and you can share your screen so that I can see what is going wrong. That is fine. It is quite a natural problem for a beginner not to be able to load the file. So I write this. When you load any data set, make sure that you have loaded the correct thing. The first thing that I will do is dim dat. To check if the size is okay, it says 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, there are 7 lines, but the first thing is heading, so this is not counted. 2 columns, fine. This is a very small data set, so it's a good idea to print the entire data set and convince yourself that that is indeed what you have. If you have a larger data set, you will print only the first few rows and the last few rows. And the names can also be seen, their weight and length. So I have my data set.